I have a 6 o'clock meeting tonight, so I was just walking around the block until it started. And I thought I'd throw some nuts at the base of where I usually see Gray Bob, who is right there. I'll first assure everyone of that. But I realized, or I saw right there, I don't know if it shows up on the video, there's what I think is a gray squirrel's tail draped on the branch. And there's hawks here all the time. There, right there. And I thought it was Gray Bob's, and I was just like, oh my God. And then I looked up and there was Gray Bob. He was up here, or she, but I think it's a he. He recognized me and came down. I haven't seen him in forever, just forever. This is so unbelievable and remarkable and oh my God and awesome. This is Hot Fudge Sunday. She lives where the enormous hawk nest is set up. I mean, the size of a hut on Bermuda, easily. Like, people live in huts on Bermuda. I don't know if they do. Wherever they live in Fiji, I don't know. That is the size of this thing. It's like a Jetsons hut in the sky, and these hawks have built it, and they're running around in threes trying to find things to kill. And here's Hot Fudge Sunday. You can see the marshmallow tail, that's her, and she lives right by there, and she's still here, thank God. And somehow she made it here. I was just on a walk, actually. I was just thinking about her. I passed that area and I thought, geez, I'll probably never see her again. And I came here to this shack and nobody is here except for her. Like, nobody else is even here. Haven't seen her in weeks. She's probably been scared out of her mind as they built that thing. It's windy out, so actually, like, there's nobody moving at all. Not even, birds aren't eating here, nobody. It's very dangerous, hawk-wise. And here she is. She's got to be ravenous. Haven't seen her in weeks. I don't know what she's been eating. I'm so happy. Hot Fudge Sunday! So there are other squirrels with white tips on their tail, but Mocha is brown. Mocha Latte is brown and has a white, bit of latte on her tail. And this is Mocha, by way of comparison. White tip, we all know white tip. And she's black with a pointy tip. White tip 2 looks a lot like white tip 1. He's black, has a white tip, but he lives in the back, and white tip 1 lives in the front, though she will visit the back. I've never seen white tip 2 in the front, I don't think. But I've seen white tip 1 and white tip 2 on the deck. But this is Hot Fudge Sunday, and she's she used to be black with a brown tail and a white marshmallow on the end, but her brown tail has mostly, you can still see a little bit of brown in it, but it mostly looks black now. But that's how she had her name, because it looked like she was black, and then she had like a caramel tail and a marshmallow on the end, but she is so cute. And she's like, it's a little more of a rounded appearance on the end of her tail, whereas white tip 1 and white tip 2, see the end? But white tip 1 and white tip 2, it's more pointy, and also she's known for flicking the end of her tail. She loves to do that. I think she knows she's cute. That's my interpretation anyway. Or maybe she's just a happy soul and she likes to flick the end of her tail. This is just unbelievable that I just walked all the way around. Nobody, did not see a soul. There's not a squirrel out because it's dangerous with the wind and the hawks. And here's Hot Fudge Sunday. She must be so hungry. Don't worry, Hot Fudge, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you, Hot Fudge. And you got the world looking at you right now. Do you see the world? You're looking right into the YouTube. Mom, I was on the YouTube today. Actually, I think she is a mom. That's my guess. Based on the fact that she's female, I've known her for quite a while. I don't know, like a year and a half or 2 years. And so I'm guessing that because like Pippi and Rover have kids right now, that Hot Fudge Sunday also does, and that she's staying and taking care of them. She's got to take care of herself to take care of them. If she takes risks with her own life at this point, she's taking risks with her kids. She's being very cautious. I'm right here, Hot Fudge, don't worry. We're here together. So what I'm doing right now, I have the camera on her, but I'm looking around to let her know that I'm looking up. I'm looking for hawks. I'm going to protect her. Rover and I had a thing earlier. I'll put that video. Rover is so beautiful in the wind. We just had a huge hawk fly overhead, absolutely humongous, and she just stayed right in place while I clapped and yelled at him to leave. I think she kind of liked watching me control the hawk like a remote control, just clapping and screaming, and I informed him that Bermuda is nice this time of year. She just watched the whole thing. And then she came running up to me all happy for a nut. You like watching me yell at those guys? You like watching that? And then she just watched him fly away. I just kept yelling and he kept flying, and we both sat here and watched him leave. They feel safer near me when it comes to hawks, and geez, why not, you know? They've never seen a hawk attack me. And I do crazy things like, you know, clap and yell and point, get out of here, hawk! You know, I mean, if they're not going to attack that, they must feel pretty safe being around me. And that's good. I like giving them somewhere good to go. People think it's about feeding squirrels. God, you know, that's the least of it. They can find their own food. It's, at least around here, you know, it's not an issue whatsoever. It's the protection. It's knowing somebody cares. I mean, imagine being on this earth and just, they a lot of times get disenfranchised from their family because their family can get killed. They can leave, they can get killed, you know, and then they're all alone in the world. But just to have someone who cares, and like, let's say this is Hot Fudge Sunday and she's got kids, well, that's a big responsibility. But to have someone to care for her, in addition to her having to care for others, it's got to feel good. See how her tail does that? White tip 1 and white tip 2's tail would not do that. Their white wouldn't separate that way because theirs stays in a point, pretty much. I am so happy to see her. I just can't even. There's no words. There's no words. Hot Fudge Sunday, I'm so happy to see you. She's so happy to see me, I'm pretty sure, too. Especially in this wind, and she's not alone out here. I'm explaining human property lines to her to help her understand why I'm not going to be able to take her all the way back to her nest or her den, but I can get her at least down the street to where she has to turn in. The problem is then she walks back between 2 yards into that, under that horrible nest. I'll show a video of it when I get there, and I'm going to be watching, and all I'll be able to do is from the street clap and scream if I see something start to move and hope I can divert. There have been times where a hawk will start to dive, and if I start clapping and screaming, it makes them like kind of divert they lose their focus or whatever, just enough to give the prey, quote unquote, a chance to get away. And I don't consider anyone prey, because you know what, we're all prey. If people think they're above being prey, like humans not prey. Yeah, stick us in a tiger's den, you know what, yes we are. Just because we're not prey in our everyday life doesn't mean we're not prey. So we should all have some empathy, I think, of what it must feel like. There's this show that you can stream called Fatal Attractions, and what it's about is people who are attracted to having animals as pets that want to kill them, and and they do. I mean, there's like stories on there of like this one guy, oh man, he was basically like a lion or tiger or maybe both whisperer, so to speak. They loved him. Well, his kids saw him being that way and thought, well, if Dad can do it, I can do it. Well, the lion ate his daughter, or did he? No, she didn't. That one didn't fully get eaten. There were other ones, but that one, the daughter didn't fully get eaten, but she lost her arm, I think. Her dad, the guy who loved the lion, had to shoot the lion. He had to make the decision between save his daughter by killing the lion he loved, or tiger, I forget which, or watch his daughter get eaten by the animal he loved so much. And they said he actually hesitated. He tried to do what he could to get the animal off his daughter. Meanwhile, she was losing more and more arm. And then eventually he did shoot the animal, which, now he's devastated and depressed for the rest of his life. And I get it. if a squirrel was killing somebody I loved, I can't imagine it, you know, obviously they wouldn't do that, but I guess it would be a tough decision. If you loved the animal and you loved the person, you would probably keep waiting a little bit, thinking maybe they'll stop. But it was bad. Anyway, what was my point? Oh, we're all prey. That's my point. People, like if you Google, they'll say squirrels are prey. The thing is, humans are too, in certain circumstances. And there's so many humans who just, I think they don't get like the whole thing. Why would you protect a squirrel? Well, would you want someone to protect you if there were a lion or tiger eating you or trying to? Like, I don't know. It seems like you'd want someone to step in. And I figure if you can, just like for another human, if you see a human getting killed, and you can do something about it, it seems like it would be a nice thing to do. From this view here, I can totally see some of her earlier browner fur. Okay, so here's what we do. I'm walking down the street, and Hot Fudge is... She's going to make her way. Here she goes. Okay, this is where to look. She goes running. There she goes. There she goes. Good. We haven't gotten to the hard spot yet. She's going to have to cross the road here. She's going to be relying on me. She always waits for me. See her? She's waiting for me. I'm going to go a little ahead here. And she waits for me to go a little ahead. I'm looking around, making sure I don't see anything. And I'm making all the noise. We just heard a bird make a sound. There's a certain high-pitched... Okay, plus she's waiting to eat. All right, while she's doing that, I'm going to show what she has to deal with. Look at that thing. How do I show some perspective? Okay, there's how big that is. There's how big that is. And then right there, Hot Fudge is still eating. Here she comes. Here she comes. Oh, she's got the nut. Oh, you know what? There's more nuts there. There's more nuts there that I had thrown for Gray Bob not too long ago, and I'm sure Gray Bob didn't get to them yet, so she's probably finding those. Here she comes. Crossing the street. There she goes. Now I'm going to turn this. Well, here she comes. Okay, so I take a look. She's going to go under some stuff. And I'm back. I need to put this down so I can start clapping and screaming if I need to.